symmetrical arrangement over a vast area, I had already begun to look upon things with the eyes of cattle land. I recollect that when we were settled in a roomy, old-fashioned house, I cried because my mother would not let me go out to the corral and play. "There are no corrals in a city, dear," she explained, and I cried the harder. I could conceive of no joy in a place where I could not go out to the corrals and have some brown-faced cowpuncher hoist me up on a gentle horse and let me hold the reins while the pony moved sedately about. Left to himself, I think my father would have made a cowman of me, but mother had known the range when it was a place to try the nerves of strong men, and she hated it. I didn't know till I was nearly grown that she had made Dad promise me when I was born that if the cattle made money for us, I should never know the plains. She came of an old Southern family, and her life had been a sheltered one till she met and married Jack Sumner. And she would have had me walk in pleasant places, as the men of her family had done, doctors, lawyers, planters, and such. The life was too hard, too much of an elemental struggle, she said, and I was to be saved some of the knocks that my dad had taken in the struggling years. Poor mother mine! Her son was the son of his father, I'm afraid. But Sumner père made good on his promise when the Sumner herds fattened his bank account sufficiently, and I gyrated through school, with college and a yet-to-be-determined career looming on the horizon. So my childish memories of the great open that lies naked to the sun glare and the chilling breath of the northers year on year grew fainter and more like something of which I had dreamed. Dad would come home occasionally, stay a day or two, perhaps a week, sometimes even a month, but my mother never went west of the Mississippi, nor did I. I often plagued them to let me go to the ranch during vacation, but they evidently considered it best to keep me away from the round-ups and horse-breaking and such, till I was old enough to see that there was another side to the life besides the sunshiny, carefree one that makes an irresistible appeal to a youngster. And then, just a week after my 20th birthday, my dad, slow-voiced, easy-going old Jack Sumner, rode his horse into the smiling red and drowned under the eyes of 20 men. I was sitting on our front steps, grouching about the heat, when the messenger brushed by me with the telegram in his hand. Mother signed for it, and he ran down the steps whistling and went about his business. There was no sound within. I had no hint of trouble till a maid screamed. Then I rushed in. Mother was drooping over the arm of a Morris chair, and the bit of yellow paper lay on the rug where it had fluttered from her hand. I carried her to a couch and called a doctor. But he could do nothing. Her heart was weak, he said, and might have stopped any time. The shock had merely hastened her end. I'm going to pass lightly over the week that followed. I was just a kid, remember, and I took it pretty hard. It was my first speaking acquaintance with death. A few of my mother's people came, and when it was over with, I went to Virginia with an uncle, a kindly, absent-minded, middle-aged bachelor. But I couldn't settle down. For a week or 10 days I fidgeted about the sleepy southern village, and then I bade my uncle an abrupt good-bye and started for St. Louis. Little as I knew of business and legal matters, I was aware that now the Sumner herds and ranches were mine, and I had a hankering to know where I stood. Except that there was a ranch and cattle.